Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video I mentioned in my daily vlogs. If you don't know, we have a daily vlog channel. The link will be down below, where I post a video every day of our lives, so you can go check that out. But I kind of mentioned in that vlog, in my daily vlogs, that I had started going to therapy. So I figured I would make a video about it and kind of like why I decided to go to therapy, just talking a little bit about my experience so far. Now, I've only gone to 4 sessions, because I had missed last week. So this would be my 5th session, I believe. So now, the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like when people hear about therapy, they think like taboo right away, right? Like people are scared to admit that they want to go to therapy, or that they do go to therapy, because they're scared of being judged. And I myself felt this way. Anytime therapy was brought up to me, I was always kind of like, I don't need therapy, I'm not crazy, and stuff like that, which is very bad because one, I studied psychology in college, so I definitely should know better than that. But when I would hear other people talking about it and talking about their experiences, I'd kind of be like, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with therapy, but everybody like automatically is kind of shy, or not shy, like scared to say that they're going to therapy, or that they want to go to therapy, or that they need therapy. And the first thing to anything is admitting that something is wrong. And it doesn't have to be like something crazy wrong. Maybe you need just somebody to talk to. Maybe you've been feeling a certain way lately and you just need to talk to somebody who is not a friend or family, or somebody you know. And a couple of moms here on YouTube recently did videos about them going to therapy, and that's kind of what gave me the push to start going to therapy and to share this with you, because I just felt, and I didn't say anything at first because I just wanted to go through the process for a couple weeks and then talk about it, so I had something to talk about. I wasn't gonna be like, hey guys, I'm going to therapy, and end of video. So I wasn't hiding it or anything. I just kind of wanted to live the experience a bit and then talk to you guys about my experience. So like I said, a few moms on YouTube mentioned that they were going to therapy, and it was crazy because those moms to me had it all together from what I can see. And that's our problem in life, is that we compare our, and I saw this, this is a quote from somebody, I didn't make this up. Right now I just can't remember where I've seen it, because I've seen it in so many places, but we compare our behind the scenes, like things that happen to us behind the scenes, we compare it to other people's highlight reel. What you see on people's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, everything is mostly people's highlights, right? I'm gonna post when my kids are playing nicely, and I'm not really gonna post when they're fighting, right? I sometimes will, but like that's the point. We post our highlights. That's what we post. And I'm comparing like, oh wow, look at her. Her kids are always happy, and I'm comparing it to when my kids are not. So that's number one thing that we as mothers, as people, as everybody has to stop doing. Stop comparing your behind the scenes with somebody else's highlight. Compare your highlights with their highlights, and I'm sure you'll feel a lot better about yourself. But anyway, I was kind of like off on a tangent. But those people that shared their therapy stories with me helped me and motivated me to want to start therapy, and to share it with you and know that it's okay to need to go to therapy. So the reason I feel like I needed to go to therapy was because I just wasn't feeling myself. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 3 years now. Prior to these 3 years, I was a workaholic. I worked several jobs, went to school full-time. Monday through Sunday, I was busy. Monday through Friday, I worked and went to school at night, and Saturday and Sunday, I had a second job. So I was constantly busy. Now, I've been home for 3 years because with Phoenix, I got laid off right before I had him, and it just all worked out this way. So this was never my plan. The whole time I was pregnant with Phoenix, I was supposed to go back to work. Then when I decided to start looking for a job again, I found that I was pregnant with Avery. So it's been tough, kind of being still and just kind of not really being busy. I mean, I'm busy with the kids, but you know what I mean. And I just haven't felt myself. I'm very snappy at times, or there's days that I feel miserable, and it's like, why do I feel miserable? My life's pretty good, you know. My husband is an awesome provider. My kids are great. They're smart. They're healthy. And, you know, I get to stay home with them. Why do I always feel miserable? And I hid it for a while, but it slowly you could start to see it, especially John, because he's my husband, and he would start to feel it and see it. And I just felt that going to therapy and talking about what I was feeling would help me and help me better communicate to John, because it was starting to affect me and John's communication. And I can tell that I needed to work on me. I needed to go and talk to somebody and just kind of figure out what's going on. You know, I can talk to John, but he has his work issues and his stresses, and talking to him is not the same as talking to a therapist who's gonna sit there and help me work things out. And so far it's been great. You know, our last session, I had anxiety about Phoenix starting school, and, you know, I talk to other people about it, and it's like, it's gonna be okay or whatever, and that's great, but it's not the same. In therapy, we sat down and we made a list of all, she made me tell her all the positives and all the negatives of him going to school, and at the end we realized there was a lot more positives, and I wouldn't have been able to kind of figure that out by myself, even if I did write the list myself, because it's just a different. She said things that I was like, yeah, I guess that is a positive, you know. So it's just a lot of things like that that really, really do help. I go once a week, which is also great because it's something I kind of look forward to, even though on my drive there I have a lot of anxiety and I feel kind of like, oh, I don't feel like sitting and talking to somebody right now. But once I get there and we start talking and it flows, it's like, oh wow, the hour is up already. So I do still have that anxiety because it's still pretty new, but I have opened up to her a lot, and a lot of my mom's passing has come up. And I think now that I'm a mom, I'm starting to deal with her passing a little different than when, you know, she first passed. It's kind of like I put it on the back burner, and now it's all these feelings are coming up. I've lost a lot in the last few years, but I've also gained 2 beautiful children. So it's a lot of stuff going on that I kind of didn't see as my issues when I wanted to go to therapy. I kind of didn't think of all these things. I thought of it was this and that, and it's kind of, now that I've been talking to her more, it can kind of seems, I'm kind of seeing what the real underlying issues are. And it's just nice. I mean, there's no, like, you know, I'm not going to be on prescriptions or anything. Thank God right now I don't feel like I need to get to that level. But if you need that, that's great, because the therapist, I believe it's a therapist who can help you with medicine. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me, but going to a therapist can help you with these things. And the number one thing is feeling comfortable, not lying or not trying to sugarcoat things that you're telling them because you're scared of how you're going to be perceived. Like, I just recently told her about YouTube, and she was like, wow, that's awesome. And we talked about that for a while, and she kind of saw how it lightened up, how I was very excited about it, and it was a big part of me, and, you know, it changes a bit. So you have to be honest with them. You need to just open up and tell them and feel comfortable that you're not going to be judged. Not for 1 second do I ever feel like she's judging me. There's times where I feel a lot of empathy, and I went to school for psychology, so it's like I thought I knew a lot of what my issues were, and it just seems like there's a lot of underlying things. Like I said, my mom's death is a big talk in our therapy sessions, and my attachment to Phoenix and letting him go with school, and even with Avery and Phoenix being babysat, has a lot to do with my losing my mom and losing a lot. I lost my mom, my grandma. I've lost a handful of friends in the past few years. Just a lot of loss. So, which I never thought was really an issue to me. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. So anyways, guys, I don't want to keep rambling, but my point is, if you're thinking about going to therapy, go try it out. Don't knock it until you try it. If you go the first session and you just feel like, you know what, this really isn't for me, then maybe it isn't. But don't feel scared, ashamed, or anything if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, because it can be the simplest things. It could be no big issue at all, but you just need to talk it out and talk to somebody and feel like you're being listened to, and it feels really good. And I think it has helped my mentality a lot lately. It's a slow process. It's not like, oh, overnight I'm going to feel happy and chipper all the time. That's definitely not it, but it's getting there. And you work on things and they help you think of things differently. You know, if I'm feeling this, try to do this, or, you know, stuff like that. Things that are probably so, why didn't I think of that? But that's just it. You don't think of it. So if you feel like you need to talk to somebody or you want to know a little bit more about it, you can comment down below, private message me, whatever you want. I'll tell you a little bit more about how it's going for me. I'm going to try to do updates on every few months or so, depending how it goes, about it, because I just feel like it's really good to talk about it, because I feel like people think it's so taboo to go to therapy, and it really, really isn't. So hopefully this video can help somebody who's just been thinking about it and just kind of feels like, well, I don't need to go. You should go, even if it's been a thought in your mind at all. Go, see what it's like. You never know until you try it. And I did have a question that if I thought that any of this had to do with postpartum depression, and I don't think so. I've looked up postpartum depression and I don't feel those feelings really, so I really don't think, and I did bring that up to her too. It's like, you know, just had a baby a year ago, does that have to do with anything? And she doesn't think it has anything to do with postpartum either. So as of right now, I don't think it has anything to do with postpartum. So we'll see how, you know, if that later on we figure out that maybe it did have something to do with being postpartum depression or something. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and don't forget to check out our daily channel where you can check out more of our day and what we do. And kind of boring, but hey, anyways guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.